Okay, come, let's do a simple demonstration on the Svantek 971. So Svantek 971 is a class 1 sound level meter. To turn on the sound level meter, we press these two buttons together and let go, and you will see the screen starts up. So upon starting up, we will be able to observe what's the sound pressure level right now in the room. As you can see here, it's a LED display, so it's very bright and useful at dark locations. It shows currently the sound pressure level, A rating, fast response, and indicating what is the value as we speak. The time clock is over here, indicating that right now it's about 4 o'clock. So before we start the instruments, let's go into some of the basic functions. So first of all, there is a pause button over here, P, and then an escape button. So this button has got two functions. You have a menu, enter, up, down, left, right navigation. There's a shift button over here, and there's a start stop button over here. And this line here indicates that you need to press these two buttons together to turn it on and to turn it off. So I've turned it on, and to turn it off, I have to press these two buttons again, and it will ask me if I really want to turn it off. Right now, you notice that the display has gone dim, because to save power, we can set a dim timer for 1 minute or longer. It's up to us. So when the display goes dim, even in dark places, we can still see it. To activate the display again, I would have to press any one of the buttons. Say for example, I press this button and it brightens up the display again. So the first time when I press it, it doesn't actually do anything just to activate the display. Now, before we start any recording, of course now the instruments is showing the sound pressure level. Before we do any kind of recording, if you would allow me, I will show you how to do what is inside the menu. So to go into the menu, because the menu is in red, so shift, which is in red, and press the menu button, and immediately we come over to these various functions. Like we have functions, measurements, display files, and so on and so forth. Now, what is inside function? Enter into function. There are two measurement. One is the measurement function. The other one is the calibration function. To look at what are the measurement functions available on this instrument, I enter, and this is displaying that I have a basic sound level meter function. I have a 1 octave band function, 1/3 octave band function, and a dosimeter function. So if I scroll down, I can see the various different functions available. Now, depending on the options that was purchased together with the instrument, the option may be available or may not be available. So this current unit has been purchased with the 1 octave band function already activated. So if I enter, I have selected 1 octave band, and it's back to this measurement function. Now, calibration, if I want to enter calibration, I can enter calibration by measurement. That means I need to use a calibrator to calibrate it. I can go to the last calibration that was performed. I can do a post calibration after my measurement is done, and I can also activate auto calibration, which means that if I activate auto calibration, all I need to do is to stick the calibrator into the microphone, and it will perform the calibration automatically. But right now I'm not actually doing it, because I don't have a calibrator with me right now. Now the next thing that I would like to talk about is after functions, let's go into measurement. Now with the instruments measurement, there are general settings, measuring trigger, profiles, logging, so on and so forth. So there's a couple of setups inside this management option. But for me to go straight into general settings, I have a start delay, I have a start synchronization, the integration period, the repetition of cycles, whether am I using it in a daytime definition of 7 AM to 7 PM, whether the LED integration is in exponential or in linear. But these are the settings that we currently set it up for. If I want to change the integration period to less than so-called to be about 5 minutes, I have to go left and right. And once I've had it selected, press enter, and I have selected the setup. So without going too much into the other setup, I wanted to show you how we run it and how we see the values. Now, to get out from this screen, I will have to press this button here to escape, twice, and I'm back at the operation of the instruments. So remember that now we have the instrument set up for 5 minutes, and then it's under 1 octave band. Now to look at what are the so-called display available, we can go left and right. Say if I go left and right, oopsie, it's up and down, sorry. Go up and down. So go up and down. I can go up and see this is a one screen, second screen, third screen, fourth screen, fifth screen, and sixth screen. So I come back to this screen. So it's a cycle. Whether I go up or I come down, I can cycle it through. Now going left and right here currently doesn't show us anything because I actually haven't started the run yet. Now if I am ready to start a recording, currently you notice that there's a square on top, which means that the instrument is in a stop mode. Now to start the instruments, I will have to press obviously the start button over here. So pressing the start button, you will notice that there's a delay of 1 second, and the triangle turns into the square turns into a triangle, and I have it under LEQ, A waiting, fast response, and the file number currently is L503, which means that this is a file number 503. There has been that many reading that we have done so far. Now profile 1 and the timer is started for 21 seconds, 22 seconds, so on and so forth. Now if I go left and right now, I can see the different setups or the different functions. I have LEQ functions. I can have a sound exposure level, the L day, L exposure, the other functions, okay, maximum, minimum, so on and so forth. So going left and right will scroll through the different functions that are available on the instruments, and going up and down would indicate the different profiles, LEQ values, the exceedance level, the time logging history per second, and then what we call the spectrum. Now you notice that the spectrum has got a red line on top, and there is a blue line on the bottom that is to indicate the range for that particular frequency. And LEQ currently is for this particular, okay, alright, so as you can see right now, it is going through the different going left and right. I'm going through the different frequency from 31.5 Hz to 63 Hz, 125 Hz, 250 Hz. But notice that the green lines are going up and down. It's not really stable, so I really can't read the values. This is because in a setup, the setup has been set up to display the instantaneous sound pressure level. So that's the reason why it's moving up and down a lot. Now the instrument has been running for, if I go up, has been running for about 2 minutes and still running because we set it up for 5 minutes. Now if I want to record the spectrum, having the numbers going up and down is not going to help a lot. So I would recommend that we change the settings inside the spectrum display to show the LEQ value rather than our sound pressure value. So to do that, I have to go Shift menu to go into one of the display, and under display I have a spectrum view, whether I want to display the instantaneous or I want to display the maximum, minimum, or the peak. But what I would recommend is that we select the average. So once we have the average selected, and if I go escape, you notice now that the spectrum data information doesn't fluctuate as much. So for this center frequency of 31.5 Hz, my LQ is 24 dB. It is still recording right now, so whatever we are saying is actually being so-called average. So for this 63 Hz, we are seeing 33.1 Hz. For 125 Hz, we are seeing 49 dB, and 250 Hz, 500 Hz, 1000 Hz, 2000 Hz, 4000 Hz, 8000 Hz, 16,000 Hz. Now, once I go past the green lines and getting into the orange line, this is showing the total for A rating is a 63, C rating is 69, and 0 rating is 73.3. So all this information are, as we said, are being recorded and logged into the instrument. So So if I press the up arrow key again, I come back to this screen. So just to get a quick summary, if I am doing a measurement and I want to get spectrum information, when after I've turned it on, I would run it, and then running it, we will get to this screen whereby it indicates to you the LEQ values and the time that it's been running for. Currently it's about 4 minutes. And if you press the up arrow key, you're going to look at the different functions that is available on the instruments, right? So going up arrow key or down arrow key, you will be able to look at the spectrum data. So when you're at the spectrum screen, you need to go left and right to select the frequency that you want to record, and I would maybe recommend that you write it down, even though the instruments has the data stored. What happens is that the data would need to be downloaded to a PC to view if you are not already if you didn't have it recorded down. So now you see that this the timer has run for 5 minutes and it has stopped, and my LEQ values for 31.5 Hz is 23.9, 63 Hz is 33.1, 125 Hz is 49.8, 250 Hz is 55.7, and so on and so forth. So record this value down, because the next time you run it, this would be a new so-called file. So if I go over the file now, the file number is L504, and this is the spectrum for the second run. So if I have it running for 15 seconds, 16, 17, 16, 17 seconds, so on and so forth, 20 seconds, say for example I stop it, press this button to stop it, manually override the timer, I go up arrow key to the spectrum. If I want to record down the spectrum information, I would come over here and record the values. Okay, so basically this is where we will end for this short introduction.